today here we are again to study biological classification. Either nature have kept many things secret from us, or we haven't given much effort to study all those things clearly. We have studied about protozoans, viruses, bacteria, fungus, etc. causing disease to us, but these aren't even 20% of all cellular microorganisms. Perhaps these are the ugly part of the microbial world, and we need to look on other side of the coin as well. So here in this chapter, let's dive in the ocean of diversity of different living organisms. But we'll start from history. Aristotle had classified plants and animals on the basis of morphological criteria. In plants, they are divided into herbs, shrubs and trees, and in animals into the one having red blood and the others are not having red blood. Linnaeus have given two kingdom classification system, plant kingdom and animal kingdom. So either an organism belongs to plant or animal, not considering about prokaryotes or eukaryotes, unicellular or multicellular, or no consideration of phylogenetic relation as well. Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra were placed together under algae. Nowadays, Chlamydomonas belongs to protist. This classification, which was used for long time, need to be changed. There is requirement of including criteria like cell structure, nature of cell wall, mode of nutrition, habitat, methods of reproduction, evolutionary relationships, that is phylogenetic relationships, etc. So we have started improving classification system and came across establishing new and better classification system time to time. In 1969, Robert H. Whittaker proposed a 5-kingdom classification system, according to which all living organisms are classified into Monera, that is group of prokaryotic organisms, protist, group of unicellular eukaryotic organisms, fungi, group of multicellular heterotrophic organisms bearing cell wall over their cell, plant, group of multicellular photosynthetic organism having cell wall, Animalia, group of multicellular heterotrophic organism not having cell wall over their cell. In this classification system, Chlamydomonas and Chlorella having cell wall and Paramecium and Amoeba devoid of cell wall placed under the same kingdom protist, which were in different kingdom earlier. As criteria had changed, the classification was changed. So let's check criteria for the classification system. First is cellular structure, which includes presence or absence of nuclear membrane, that is, organisms are prokaryotic or eukaryotic, even having double wall membrane or not. Then presence or absence of cell wall, and if presence, its composition, whether cell wall have cellulose and or chitin. Second is body organization, that is, the organism is unicellular or multicellular. Third is mode of nutrition, whether the organism is autotrophic or heterotrophic. And fourth is phylogenetic relationship, that is evolutionary relation. This table is given in book, in which all 5 kingdoms are classified on the basis of their criteria, and you need to learn this table thoroughly. In our syllabus, we will study 5 kingdom classification system, and in this chapter we will study only first 3 kingdom, that is Monera, protist and fungi. But currently we have more established classification system also, and we are still improving it. In 1977, Carl Woese have given 3-domain system for classification. Earlier, Archaebacteria were included in monerans, but he mentioned archaea are as much different from other prokaryotes or bacteria as bacteria are from plants and animals. So he made 3-domain: archaea, eubacteria and eukarya. Archaea having 16S ribosomes, eubacteria, that is developed bacteria, and eukarya. And eukarya is further classified into 4 kingdoms, that are protist, fungi, plants and Animalia. Anyways, we will study according to five kingdom classification system. So let's study about Monera first. Bacteria are the sole members. All organisms are prokaryotic, devoid of nuclear membrane and double membrane walled cell organelles like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, chloroplast, etc. All of them are unicellular with such a primitive type of cell, multicellular, yet there are some exceptions. They are most abundant organisms thriving almost everywhere, even in harsh habitats like hot springs, deserts, snow, and deep oceans where very few other life forms can survive. Bacteria, on the basis of shape, classified into four groups: spherical, called coccus, rod shaped bacteria, called bacillus, comma shaped bacteria, called vibrio, spiral shaped bacteria, called spirillum. Bacteria are simple in structure yet complex in behavior. Compared to many other organisms, bacteria show extensive metabolic diversity. That is, they carry out various different types of metabolic activities. For instance, some bacteria are autotrophic, that is able to obtain food by themselves, and others are heterotrophic, that is depend on others for their food. So this is about monerans. Let's study eubacteria and archaebacteria also separately. Eubacteria. There are thousands of different types of eubacteria or true bacteria. They are characterized by presence of a rigid cell wall and, if motile, a flagellum. They reproduce mainly by fission, but in unfavorable condition they produce spores. They also reproduce by very primitive type of sexual reproduction, that is transfer of DNA from one bacterium to another, called conjugation. According to mode of nutrition, they are of two types: autotrophic and heterotrophic. Among autotrophic, again there are two types: photosynthetic and chemosynthetic. And heterotrophic eubacteria can be saprophytic or parasitic. Photosynthetic bacteria are also called as cyanobacteria or blue-green algae. They might be identified as algae earlier and later it was found to be bacteria. These organisms are unicellular, colonial, or filamentous, freshwater or marine or terrestrial. Their colonies are surrounded by gelatinous sheath. They often form blooms in polluted water bodies. Some of these are also helping in fixing atmospheric nitrogen by having specialized cells called heterocysts. Example: nostoc and Annabella. Chemosynthetic bacteria oxidizes various inorganic substances such as nitrates, nitrites, and ammonia and use released energy for ATP production. They play a great role in recycling nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and sulfur. They are absorbing these minerals in their raw form and convert it into such forms which can be absorbed by other organisms like plants. Heterotrophic bacteria. Majority of them are decomposers or saprophytes. Many of them have huge impact on humans' life as they are helping in producing antibiotics, producing curd from milk, fixing nitrogen in legume roots, etc. While some are pathogens, bringing disease to humans, other animals, and plants, causing cholera, typhoid, tetanus in human, citrus canker in plants, etc. Mycoplasma, smallest living cell. They completely lack cell wall. They are anaerobes, that is, survive without atmospheric oxygen. Many of them are pathogenic to animals as well as plants. Archaebacteria, also called as extremophiles. These bacteria are of special type. Some of them are thriving in most harsh habitats like extremely salty areas called halophiles, hot springs called thermophiles, and marshy areas called methanogens. They have different types of cell wall than other bacteria, and therefore they can thrive in such habitats. Methanogens are also present in several ruminant animals like cows and buffaloes, and actually responsible for producing methane in biogas plant from dungs of these animals. Protist. This kingdom does not have well defined boundaries, as organisms belong to this kingdom often confused with its belonging to fungi, plant or animal kingdom. They are eukaryotic, unicellular and possessing membrane bound organelles like mitochondria, Golgi complex, etc. They reproduce asexually and sexually by a process involving cell fusion and zygote formation. This kingdom includes chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, slime molds, and protozoans. And again, protozoans are of four types: amoeboid, flagellated, ciliated, and sporozoans. Chrysophytes. It includes diatoms and golden algae, also called as desmids. They can be found in fresh water or marine water. In diatoms, cell wall forms two overlapping shells which fit together as in soap box. The walls are embedded with silica making walls indestructible. Even after their death, cell wall deposits remain as it is in their habitats. Accumulation of these deposits from over billions of years is called diatomaceous earth. It is called diatomaceous earth. They are gritty and so used in polishing, filtration of oils and syrups. Diatoms are chief producers in the oceans. Dinoflagellates. They are marine and photosynthetic. They appear yellow, green, brown, blue, or red depending on the main pigments present in their cells. The cell wall has stiff cellulose plates on the outer surface. Most of them have two flagella. One lies longitudinally and other transversely in a furrow between the wall plates, as you can see in the diagram. Very often, red dinoflagellates like Goniolax undergo such rapid multiplication that they make sea tides appear red. Toxins released by such large numbers may even kill other animals such as fishes. You might have watched movie Exodus, in which such kind of thing is shown. Euglenoids. Majority of them are freshwater organisms found in stagnant water. Instead of a cell wall, they have a flexible pellicle, rich proteinic layer. They have two flagella, a long one and a short one. They are mixotrophic, that is facultative photosynthetic. Means photosynthetic in presence of sunlight and heterotrophic in absence of sunlight. Photosynthetic pigments are similar to the ones found in higher plants. Example, Euglena. Slime molds. They are saprophytic. The body grows along decaying twigs and leaves engulfing organic material. Under suitable conditions, they form an aggregation called plasmodium, which may grow and spread over several feet. During unfavorable condition, this plasmodium differentiates and form fruiting bodies, bearing spores at their tips. These spores possess true wall, extremely resistant, and makes the organism survive for many years while adverse condition is prevailing. The spores have an ability to get dispersed by air current. Protozoans. They are heterotrophs and live as predators or parasites. They are believed to be primitive relatives of animals, means animals must have evolved from these organisms. According to locomotory organ possessed by them, they are of four types: amoeboid protozoans, flagellate protozoans, ciliated, and sporozoans. Amoeboid protozoans. These organisms use pseudopodia, that is false feet, for locomotion as well as capture their prey. In 10th standard, you have studied how they project out their pseudopodia. They live in fresh or marine water or moist soil. Marine forms have silica shells on their surface. Some of them are parasites such as Entamoeba histolytica, causing dysentery. Flagellated protozoans. They have flagella for locomotion. Some of them are free living while others are parasitic. Trypanosoma gambians belongs to flagellated protozoans, causes sleeping sickness. Now next is ciliated protozoans. These actively moving organisms have thousands of cilia over their body. They are aquatic. They have a cavity called gullet that opens to the outside of the cell surface. The coordinated movement of cilia causes water-laden food to be steered into the gullet. Example, paramecium. Sporozoans. They don't have any locomotory organ. They have an infectious spore-like stage in their life cycle. They are of diverse type. The most notorious is Plasmodium species, causing malaria, which has a staggering effect on human population. So this was about protist, and now we will study about next kingdom, that is kingdom fungi. Fungi are heterotrophic organisms bearing cell wall on their outer surface. Moreover, these organisms have cell wall made up of chitin, a polysaccharide, or chitin and cellulose both. Fungi can be found as developing mold or orange rot, mushrooms we eat, toadstools, etc., white spots on mustard leaves, wheat rust, smut in maize, ringworm occurring on our skin, etc., are due to parasitic fungus. Yeast used in bakeries and breweries, penicillin used for producing antibiotics, etc., are fungus. They are cosmopolitan, can be found in air, water, soil, and on animals and plants. They prefer to grow in warm and humid places. Most of the time, fungus are responsible for spoiling of food. Among fungus, only yeast is unicellular, otherwise, all fungus are filamentous having long and slender thread like structure called hyphae. Network of hyphae is known as mycelium. These mycelium can be observed over rotten food as network of long and thin hyphae. In some fungus, cells of hyphae are not separated by cell membrane which should be present between them. So here cytoplasm of cells are joined and form a long single cytoplasm which is multinucleated. Such hyphae are called cenocytic hyphae, while in other fungus no such hyphae can be found. They are having septa or cross walls dividing each two consecutive cells. Most of the fungi are saprophytic, living on dead and decomposed organic matter, whereas few are parasitic. Some of them live as symbionts, as in lichens in association with algae, or mycorrhiza in association with some higher plants. Reproduction in fungus takes place by vegetative, asexual, and sexual means. Vegetative reproduction includes fragmentation, fission, and budding. Asexual reproduction is occurring by using conidia or sporangiospores or zoospores, etc. Sexual reproduction occurs by oospores, ascospores, and basidiospores. These spores are produced on specialized structures called fruiting bodies. The sexual cycles involve the following three steps: plasmogamy, that is fusion of protoplasms of two motile or non-motile gametes; karyogamy, fusion of two nuclei; and the third one is meiosis of zygote to form four haploid spores. During sexual reproduction, two haploid hyphae of compatible mating types come together and fuse. Fusion of such haploid cells results immediately in diploid cells. However, in Ascomycetes and Basidiomycetes type of fungus, there is an intervening dikaryotic stage wherein a cell is containing two haploid nuclei. The condition in which cell is lying is called dikaryon. Such phase is called dikaryophase of fungus. Later, two nuclei in the cell get fused and form diploid nucleus, and then they form fruiting bodies over which haploid spores are produced by reduction or meiotic cell division. You must be knowing about cell division, mitosis and meiosis. In meiosis or meiotic division, which is also called reduction division, diploid cell becomes haploid. Means if in parental cell there are two sets of chromosome, then in daughter cells there will be only one set of chromosome. That means number of chromosomes divide into half of the parental cell to each daughter cells. Morphology of mycelium, mode of spore formation and fruiting bodies form the basis for the division of kingdom into various classes, that is Phycomycetes, Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes and Deuteromycetes. Phycomycetes. They can be found in aquatic habitat or decaying woods, in moist and damp places, or as obligatory parasites on plants. Mycelium is aseptate or cynocytic, asexual reproduction by zoospores if motile, and for non-motile aplanospores are there. Spores produced endogenously in sporangium. In sexual reproduction, gametes can be isogamous, that is same type of gametes, or anisogamous, male and female gametes both are there, that means different gametes, or oogamous, male and female gametes are there, but male gametes are small in size, large in number and motile. Contradicting, female gametes are large in size, small in number and non-motile. Examples of saprophytic phycomycetes are mucor, rhizopus, etc. And of parasitic phycomycetes are albugo, causing white spot in mustard leaves. Next is Ascomycetes, also called as sac fungi due to appearance of sac-like asci. We will come to this term later. They can be unicellular as in yeast or multicellular. Some of them are saprophytic, that is decomposers, or coprophilous, growing on dung. Few are parasitic. Mycelium is branched and septate. For asexual reproduction, conidia are produced exogenously on conidiophores. Conidia on germination produce mycelium. Their fruiting bodies are called ascocarps, on which several sac-like asci are arranged. These asci are producing ascospores endogenously. Example, Aspergillus, of which black colored spores can be found in onions. Penicillium, using it we are producing penicillin antibiotic. Saccharomyces, which is also called as baker's yeast as well as brewer's yeast. Claviceps, a parasitic one to wheat. Neurospora, extensively used in biochemical and genetic work. And morels and truffles are used in consuming, in fact considered as delicacies. You can find out morels and truffles in amazon.com. To search truffles, write truffle fungi. Basidiomycetes. All of you know mushrooms, right? They belongs to Basidiomycetes. They grow in soil, on log and tree stumps. In fact, I have seen them growing on wooden table as well. It was bracket fungi. There are some parasitic fungus also. Vegetative reproduction can be done by fragmentation is common. Generally, asexual reproduction is not occurring in this type of fungus. For asexual reproduction, Sex organs are absent, yet it is carried out by fusion of two vegetative or somatic, means non-gametic cells of different strains or genotypes having different sets of genes, results in formation of dikaryotic basidium. Then these basidium undergo karyogamy and further undergoes meiosis to form four haploid basidiospores. These basidiospores produce exogenously, as in Ascomycetes. In Basidiomycetes, fruiting bodies are called basidiocarp, in which some basidia are arranged. These basidia are producing basidiospores. Example: first, mushroom or agaricus are well known, some of them are consuming also. Second, one more example of edible basidiomycetes, puffballs. Third, bracket fungi, the one we have talked about earlier. 4. Ustilago, which is responsible for smut. And fifth, Puccinia, causing rust. Deuteromycetes. They are also known as imperfect fungi, as what was discovered as sexual stage of Deuteromycetes later found to belong to species of Ascomycetes and Basidiomycetes. They reproduce only by asexual spores, that is conidia. Mycelium is septate and branched. Some members are saprophytes and others are parasites, while large number of them are decomposers, decomposing litters, that is fallen leaves, and help in cycling of minerals. Examples of Deuteromycetes are Trichoderma, Alternaria, Coledotrachum, etc. By now we have studied about three kingdoms, that is Monera, Protist and fungi. Let's have a glimpse about plant kingdom and animal kingdom also. These are eukaryotic, chlorophyll containing organism. Most of them are autotrophic, yet few of them are insectivorous like bladderwort and Venus flytrap. Some are parasitic like Cuscuta. They are parasitic to different plants. They contain cellulose in their cell wall. They exhibit alternation of generation, that is, alternate gametophyte phase and sporophytic phase. Sporophytic phase produces spores, and spores develop into gametophytic phase. These gametophytic phase produce gametes which fuse to begin sporophytic phase. So that's how they are having two phases in their lifespan. And this whole kingdom is divided into 5 phyla: algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperm, and angiosperm. Kingdom Animalia. Here organisms are eukaryotic, multicellular, heterotrophic, and lacking cell wall over their cells. Among heterotrophic, most of them have holozoic mode of nutrition. That is, food is ingested first, digested in an internal cavity, and stored in form of glycogen and fat. They follow a definite growth pattern and grow into adults that have a definite shape and size. Advanced organisms show elaborate sensory and neuromotor mechanism. That is, they can sense their surrounding with higher accuracy and respond by certain movements. Most of them can locomote. Sexual reproduction is accomplished by copulation and then by embryological development. Till now, we have at least some idea about all 5 kingdoms. Yet, there are some organisms which are not included in 5 kingdom classification system, and they are viruses, viroids, prions, and lichens. Viruses aren't truly living, as they are in living condition only when they are in their host cells. Outside their host cells, they are non-living. They are non-cellular organisms and can be characterized to inert crystalline structure. Once they infect cell, they use host cell machinery to reproduce, killing the host. They are obligatory parasite. That means they cannot survive without infecting their host cells. The name virus is given by great microbiologist Louis Pasteur. Virus means venom or poisonous fluid. In 1892, DJ Ivanovsky recognized certain microbes that causes mosaic disease to tobacco, which is later called to be tobacco mosaic virus. These were found to be smaller than bacteria as they can pass through bacteria proof filters. Then in 1898, M.W. Beijering demonstrated that extract of these infected parts of plant can infect healthy plants and called the fluid as Contagium vivum fluidum. In 1935, W.M. Stanley for the first time crystallized the viruses, and these crystallized structures is mainly made up of proteins. Viruses contain proteins and genetic material like DNA or RNA, either of them. In general, plant viruses have SS means single stranded ribonucleic acid, that is ssRNA. Animal virus have either single stranded ribonucleic acid, that is ssRNA, or double stranded ribonucleic acid, that is dsRNA, or double stranded deoxyribonucleic acid, that is dsDNA. Bacteriophage means virus infecting bacteria have dsDNA usually. This genetic material is covered with protein coat called capsid. Capsid is made up of several smaller subunits called capsomeres. Capsomeres are chemically protein and are arranged in helical or polyhedral geometric forms. As viruses are parasites, they are causing disease to animals as well as plants. We know that COVID-19 causes due to SARS-CoV-2, a kind of coronavirus. Diseases like mumps, smallpox, herpes, influenza, AIDS caused by viruses in humans. In plants, symptoms like mosaic formation, leaf rolling and curling, yellowing and vein clearing, dwarfing and stunted growth causes by viruses. So this is about viruses. From the given diagram, you can also make out that capsomeres are arranged in helical form to form capsid. Right now you are watching structure of tobacco mosaic virus. You are also watching the mosaic formation in tobacco leaf due to infection of this viruses and how they actually looks in electron microscope. Now you are seeing structure of bacteriophage. The first one is diagram of structure of bacteriophage, and another one is how they actually looks in electron microscope. You have to remember the diagram and you have to practice diagram of bacteriophage also. Head is nothing but capsid of this virus. Then comes collar, sheath and tail fibers. This collar, sheath and tail fibers are helping these viruses in infecting bacteria, and head is consisting of genetic material of this virus. As viruses are parasite, they are causing disease to animals as well as plants. We know that COVID-19 causes due to SARS-CoV-2, a kind of coronavirus. Diseases like mumps, smallpox, herpes, cold and cough, AIDS caused by viruses in humans. In plants, symptoms like mosaic formation, leaf rolling and curling, yellowing and vein clearing, dwarfing and stunted growth caused by viruses. So this is about viruses. Next is viroids. There are organisms smaller than viruses lacking protein coat cause disease to plants and animals. It was discovered in 1971 by Theo Diner. He discovered a viroid causing potato spindle tuber disease. It is containing just free RNA of low molecular weight. Now next is prions. They are misfolded proteins. Every proteins have their particular shapes and foldings. The type of function they will perform is depending on their shapes and foldings. These prions are misfolded and have ability to misfold other same type of protein, same type of normal protein into protein. It causes some fatal and transmissible neurodegenerative disease in humans and many other animals. It causes disease like Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, that is CJD in humans, and bovine spongiform encephalopathy, that is BSE in cattle, commonly called as mad cow's disease. Both of them are neurodegenerative disorder. Lichens are symbiotic association between algae and fungi. They are in so close association that one cannot identify algae or fungi separately. The algal component of them is called phycobiont and the fungal component is called mycobiont. Phycobiont is autotrophic component, prepares food by photosynthesis for them, while mycobiont is heterotrophic but provides shelter and absorb minerals and water to them. They can't grow in polluted regions, so presence of them indicates non-polluted air. Therefore, they are also called as pollution indicators. By now, we have classified different organisms, discussed about monerans, protists, and fungi. Then we have discussed about non-cellular pathogenic organisms like viruses, viroids, and prions, and we have studied lichens as well. In short, we have overviewed whole microbial world.